Good evening. The Board of Trustees of Cypress-Fairbanks Independent School District is now convened in the Committee of the Whole meeting on Thursday, September 10th, 2015, in the boardroom of the Cypress-Fairbanks Independent School District Instructional Support Center, 10,300 Jones Road, Houston, Texas, at 6 p.m. for the purpose of reviewing that portion of the September 14th, 2015 school board agenda designated as action items and to hear designated reports and recognitions posted in the meeting notice as required by Texas law. No action will be taken at this meeting. I want to welcome the members of our audience and our television viewers to this meeting of the Board of Trustees. As the Cypress-Fairbanks Board of Trustees, we are here to set goals, listen to reports, approve budgets, contracts, personal appointments, and make policy for the district. It is not the role of the board to make day-to-day operational decisions. The management and day-to-day operations of the district are the responsibility of the superintendent. We have policies and procedures in place to resolve concerns and issues. This is a public meeting of the Board of Trustees, not a meeting of the public. Prior to this meeting, board members received information related to items on tonight's agenda. Agenda items will not necessarily be handled in the order listed on the notice. The meeting is open to all who wish to attend and hear the matters discussed. During the course of this meeting, the board may determine that a closed session is necessary. In that event, the board will meet in closed session to consider matters duly posted for this meeting as permitted by Section 551.071 to 551.084, inclusive of the Texas Government Code. These proceedings are airing live on CFTV Channel 16 and CFTV online on the district website. They will also be rebroadcast throughout the month on Channel 16 and available as video on demand on the website. For the tape to adequately reflect the proceedings, I respectfully ask that you please refrain from talking while others are speaking and that cell phones are turned off or in silent mode. Thank you for taking the time to join us this evening and for your interest in the Cypress-Fairbanks Independent School District. I would also like to take this opportunity to recognize our Community Leadership Committee members who are in attendance this evening. Are any of y'all here? Just thought I'd throw that out there. Yeah, they'll probably be here on Monday. Doubtful, maybe. And then I want to recognize our AVP students. They are from Jersey Village High School. And we have Demi Navarro, Ariana Perez, Cameron Barton, Pedro Herrera, Isa Rodriguez. Isa, if I killed your name, I'd like to apologize to your family, Isaiah, your grandparents, the whole everybody. Just tell them all. Okay. Cruz Fernandez, Welder Cordova, and Ivan Gomez, and their AVP advisor is Cindy Stoker from Jersey Village. So thank you guys for being here.
Ralph Funk's back there, too.
Oh, and Ralph Funk's here. That's because Jersey Village has a football game tomorrow night, right? Right, Ralph? Okay, that'll way to get your priorities. We will now move on to this evening's special recognition portion of the agenda. It is my pleasure to welcome back Dr. Pam Wells, Region 4 Executive Director, and she will recognize the board members for the Board of the Year for Region 4. I'd call you Dr. Wells, but you're really just Pam.
That's right.
So welcome back.
Thank you. You notice I have about 40 pages. Mr.
I know,
Ryan,
I appreciate that you condensed it to a paragraph. I'd like to thank you in advance.
I noticed what you said at the beginning of this meeting about the game. I would like to thank you, President Ryan, members of the board, and Dr. Henry for giving me the opportunity to come this evening. As Executive Director of Region 4 Education Service Center, I am privileged to honor you, the Cypress-Fairbanks Independent School District Board of Trustees, as we celebrate your selection as the 2015 Region 4 Outstanding School Board. Although as Executive Director, clearly I have to be unbiased. As a 33-year former member of the CFISD team, I was delighted, in fact, I think I whooped, when I was informed that the selection committee had chosen my board as the Board of the Year. This well-deserved honor is a direct result of the board's successful teamwork with Dr. Henry. The team of 8 demonstrates exemplary dedication to making a positive difference in the life of every child entrusted to your care. This designation is well-deserved acknowledgement of the board's dedicated leadership and your support of the district's focus of every student every day. Now, although the board knows this, I'm not sure all the people in the audience or watching today may know that your selection as the 2015 Region 4 Outstanding Board qualifies you to be a candidate in the Outstanding School Board Recognition Program, which is sponsored by the Texas Association of School Administrators. This annual program is facilitated by the Regional Education Service Centers across the state. And of course, you were selected as the Region 4 nominee for the Outstanding School Board by a committee of superintendents in the region who recognized your work as a remarkable representative of the 50 school districts that we have in Region 4. What I'm especially pleased to say tonight is that the Cypress-Fairbanks ISD Board of Trustees is one of 5 finalists for the Honor Board in Texas. The statewide Outstanding School Board of the Year will be announced at the Tassi-Tasby Convention in Austin. And of course, we wish the board and superintendent the best of luck in your interview. To be named the Outstanding Region 4 School Board, the Cypress ISD Board of Trustees had to excel in 10 different criteria, and I will not go through all 10 of those, but I would like to share just a couple that I think are especially indicative of the Cypress ISD Board. One of these 10 is that you function effectively as a policy-making body, that you are committed to a board of ethics, that you provide decisions for the financial support of the school system, that you place the welfare of children served by the school system above personal or political motives and agendas, and that you maintain harmonious and supportive relationships with each other as board members. These criteria clearly define the Cypress ISD Board and Superintendent team, and we really do wish you the best of luck as you go forward. I would like to share just a couple of things in the wonderful application that you had that resulted in these accomplishments. I promise, Mr. Ryan, I'm only going to share a few. First, the STAR results for 2014 indicate that Cypress ISD earned the highest possible rating, met standard, for its TEA accountability system. All 80 of the district's eligible schools earned the same designation, making Cypress ISD the largest district in Texas to have all schools receive Met Standard designation. One of the things that I am especially impressed was when I was here, and I still am impressed, that honoring students is important to this board. In the past 2 years, you have recognized more than 1,700 students during regularly scheduled board meetings, emphasizing the importance of celebrating both student academic achievement, but also success in curricular, co-curricular, and extracurricular endeavors. But not only was Cypress ISD successful academically, but the district has also received multiple awards for its efficient use of taxpayer dollars under this board's leadership. In 2012, 2013, and 2013-14, the district was ranked #1 on the Education Resource Group's, ERG's, financial and academic performance ratings, and then the next year received #2 in the entire state for that same ranking. Additionally, as has been in the news, the district has been recognized for 5 years in a row with the highest platinum ranking in the Comptroller's Leadership Circle Award. I could go on and on and on, but I won't. But I want to tell you that for the outstanding quality, the integrity that each of you have, and for especially that collaborative spirit that you have together and also with the team of 8, it is my honor to present my board, the Cypress-Fairbanks ISD Board of Trustees, with this special award commemorating your selection as the 2015 Region 4 Board of the Year. It has a wonderful picture of you guys. It's the old picture, though, not the new picture. We weren't quite that fast. And it says Cypress-Fairbanks ISD Board of Trustees, Region 4 2015 Outstanding School Board, presented in recognition of exemplary service to students, schools, educators, and the community. Congratulations.
They're all going to do it. Everybody. 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 Everybody.
But do not tweet it.
That's okay. Hey, no worries, no worries.
Good luck with this crew in the
No, right? Exactly, right?
You don't look anything like that. No, in this one. Yeah, I do. Very cool. Real quick, Mr. Hoffman wanted to know, Pam, if you could come back Monday, we're expecting a bigger crowd. Just so we can reap it all in. Hey, let's take a moment, if any board member, since it's so fresh, wants to make a comment, let's do that now. So, Bob, if you want to say, anybody that wants to say anything.
Well, a couple of things. First, I'd like to start off with our amazing department, Stephanie and Nicole and John and David. Y'all just did an amazing job on the application. Thank you so much. It is an honor. I have thoroughly enjoyed being on this board and working with this group. There's nothing fake about it. They're a great group. We come from different backgrounds and certainly bring different strengths. And as soon as we find out what mine is, I'm going to stay a little longer. But I'm just going to say that I am so proud of this board, and I'm very proud of this district and what we do with every child every day. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob. Anybody else? Just me? No, you did good. I mean, you don't want to have a bunch of parrots up here. All right, go ahead, Christine.
Okay, I do want to reiterate, there are some great people in this district, and you make what we do a lot easier. We don't do it on our own. We couldn't do it on our own. But I appreciate all the different viewpoints that are up on this dais with me. I'm like Bob, I'm really proud to be here. It wasn't that long ago that I sat in on a superintendent advisory committee and was just the mom. And I'm really, really proud to represent this district and all the staff and the teachers and the students. So thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Tom?
I think Pam summarized it best. A board cannot be recognized if the district itself does not perform at a very high level. This district has very strong leadership at both the central level but also at the campus level. The board can help, but in all actuality, that's all we can do. We can help a little with the direction, and the rest of it is truly up to the district. So for us to be recognized, this is really a tip of the hat to all the employees of this district, from the top all the way out through all the staff. And I certainly appreciate working with members of this board for the last 4 years as well.
Thank you, Tom. John?
Just would like to say thank you to those who submitted the application. This is something that we didn't apply for ourselves, and it's always a blessing. It's a special thing to be thought well of by anyone or any group of people, and for you to think that of us, we appreciate that, knowing that the real work is done every day, Monday through Friday in our schools. And so we're just a small part of what goes on. And we thank God we have the privilege, I do, of serving with this team of 8. Bless you.
Thank you, John. Anybody else? I want to just say, Pam, number one, thank you. We appreciate Region 4 and our partnership with you. There are a lot of great districts in that region, and so it is indeed an honor. But one thing you said stood out, and for a few of us that have been on the board, which some of you might say too long, is Pam made a comment about the board, the makeup of the board doesn't have a political agenda, and our main concern is about student achievement. It hasn't always been that way, and so to get back to what we do for students versus some political agenda has really been awesome to serve with these guys and gals up on the board. We do have a good team. It's an honor to serve with people that put the needs of our students first and foremost. And so, thank you guys for your service. And, hey, who knows? Maybe we take this thing. Mark, you want to say something?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
just very briefly, just a couple of comments. Number one, it's a real honor for me to get to work with the 7 of you, and I think the best compliment that I could ever give you as a group, this is, I know I don't look like it, Don, but this is my 25th year as a superintendent, and this is the first group that I've ever nominated for this award. And I've worked with a lot of boards, and I've worked with a lot of great boards, but I think it takes an exceptional group of people, and for all of the characteristics that were in the application, to have someone that you think is worthy of the Board of the Year. And you're already in the top 5, judged by other superintendents, but I know that you are the number 1 board in the state of Texas. And I think a great example, people ask me what's the secret to the success of Cy-Fair, because really large school districts like ours very seldom have the academic, the extracurricular success, the harmony that is exhibited in this school district. And it's very rare, and I always say it is that this community elects people who are looking out for the best interest of not only our students but our staff. And it's something, and y'all have heard me say this, but I really, a lot of mornings I wake up and I said, I cannot believe I get the opportunity to be superintendent of Cy-Fair ISD. And y'all are such great representatives of this community and the spirit of this community. And I want to say one last thing, Don. An example of that was just today. Teresa and I went over to Adam Elementary, and we stopped by to visit a couple of teachers who have made a point to go make a home visit to every one of their students, and the difference that they're making in the lives of those students. And that's just 2 teachers in this district, but that occurs all over the place. And so thank y'all for allowing those types of great things to happen.
Thank you, Mark. 25 years.
25.
Seems like yesterday when you were 40 and got that first gig. The board will now review and discuss the following action items. Agenda item 4A, the board will consider awarding bids and contracts and/or authorizing purchase orders as recommended in the posted agenda item. There'll be no presentation, just questions. Art paper, carpet, college readiness, digital displays, fundraiser services, grocery goods, police department vehicles, printers, restaurant catering, safety and security film glass, specialized educational services, spirit apparel, and promotional items. Any questions from board members? Okay.
And not sure who this goes to, but it might go to the police chief. The vehicles we're looking at, and I know there's not many, but I just was curious, is this replacement, or is this because we're trying or we're adding new police force?
These are new, not replacements. Our fleet is still young enough that we haven't replaced any of the new fleet. These are just additions for new hires.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Any additional questions? Tom?
I have a number of questions, but I'm going to hold those until Monday, but I've already sent those questions on to management.
Okay.
But some of those questions I think bear repeating.
Okay. Thank you, Tom. Agenda item 4B, the board will consider approving on second reading additions, revisions, or deletions to district policy CCA local, FNC local, FNCC local, FO local, GKG local. Any questions from board members? That will take us to 4C. The board will consider approving the tax refunds of $500 or greater for Cypress-Fairbanks ISD. 4D, the board will consider approving the minutes of the August 10th, 2015 regular meeting. That will now take us to our action items. First one will be 5A, and we will have a brief presentation. The board will consider the 2015 tax rate resolution to support the 2015-16 maintenance and operations and debt service budgets by setting the 2015 M&O and interest and sinking tax rates. Stuart Snow.
Thank you, President Ryan, members of the board, and Dr. Henry. During my budget presentation back in June, I mentioned that we would not be able to adopt our tax rates to support the 2015-16 budgets until after we received the certified tax rolls from the Harris County Appraisal District. Well, we did receive those values during the last week of August, and so we're ready to move forward with that. Also, during my presentation, I mentioned that the operating budget would require a tax rate of $1.04, and the debt service budget was expected to require an INS tax rate of 40 cents for a total tax rate of $1.44, which, by the way, is unchanged from the prior year. The recommended INS tax rate of 40 cents is expected to cover the debt service principal and interest payments on our current outstanding bonds, as well as the expected principal and interest payments for an additional $310 million bond sale to be priced in October, for which we will be presenting bond orders in a few minutes for your approval on Monday night. But I just want to emphasize that we sold $330 million of bonds last year, and with the closing of the sale of the additional $310 million in November for a total of $640 million, yet we will be able to accomplish this with a debt service tax rate that is 1 penny less than what it was in 2013. With that being said, we do recommend the adoption of the 2015 tax rates of $1.04 for M&O and 40 cents for INS, totaling $1.44. And as described in the resolution that you have in order to support the adopted operating and debt service budgets.
Thank you, Stuart. Questions from board members? Anybody? Tom?
I'll have questions. I'm going to hold my questions till Monday.
Well, you might as well ask it now. That way we can move it to consent.
Uh,
Y'all want to move it to consent, or you want to wait? Okay, then we'll have it stand alone. Then, Tom, you can wait till Monday. Thank you. 5B, the board will consider approving a financial advisory agreement between Cypress-Fairbanks ISD and First Southwest Company in connection with the issuance of obligations of indebtedness in accordance with the terms of the agreement. And Mr. Snow, this would be you again.
Thank you. If you recall my letter to the Board of Trustees dated June the 8th, I mentioned that my plan was to advertise a request for qualifications for financial advisory services for the purpose of interviewing and selecting a financial advisor to represent the district on an ongoing basis in all future bond transactions. On July the 28th, we did issue the RFQ, and on August the 12th, received 10 responses to the RFQ. We conducted interviews with selected finalists on August the 14th. And as a result of our analysis of the responses to the RFQ and the interviews with the selected firms, I am pleased to recommend that you approve a financial advisory agreement with First Southwest Company. The financing team will be led by Mr. Terrell Palmer, Senior Vice President, and the First Southwest team will also include Tina Arias Peterman, Senior Vice President, Lester Bird, Vice President, and Francine Steffen, Vice President. I think Terrell is the only one that is here tonight, I believe. First Southwest is regarded as the state's leader in providing financial advisory services, and they have a large number of Texas school district clients, including Houston ISD, Aldine ISD, Fort Bend ISD, Humble ISD, Spring Branch, Spring ISD, and Lamar Consolidated ISD. And at this time, I would like to allow Mr. Palmer an opportunity to address the board.
Absolutely.
Good to see you, Mr. President, Dr. Henry, members of the board. Again, my name is Terrell Palmer, and I'm a Senior Vice President with First Southwest in Houston, Texas. Just to tell you a little bit about your senior banker that'll be working with you, I've been doing this for a long time. Everybody would probably say I'm a kind of a one-trick pony. I graduated a number of years ago from the University of Texas, and I've been in investment banking ever since. I was thinking back, one of my first school district deals was for Aldine ISD, for a total of $7.5 million, and that was to build 3 elementary schools. So you can tell how long ago that has been. But we are so thrilled to be involved with your team here at Cypress-Fairbanks ISD. We have been very privileged to be both a senior and a co-manager on previous issues, and but very much forward to assuming that hat as your financial advisor and really having a much more intimate relationship with the district. We are just thrilled about it. We are, First Southwest is made up of over 400 employees, as Mr. Snow mentioned, the 4 that you will be seeing, but all the remaining 396 employees of the firm are very excited about it and are willing to step in at a moment's notice. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Palmer. We actually know you're good because that's all this team selects. So we appreciate the partnership that you'll have with the district. So thank you very much, and thank you for taking time out of your evening to spend that brief moment with us. Questions or comments from board members? Kevin?
Yeah, I just wanted to thank Stuart for the open process in which he's gone through in making this happen. Cy-Fair is not just a sleepy suburban school district anymore. We're one of the largest in the state, one of the largest in the country, and we need the best. And First Southwest has a proven track record of doing the best. My understanding, they've done about 57 transactions in the last 5 years for about $3.6 billion. And they're considered one of the best municipal public finance groups in the state, not to mention the country. So I'm excited not only about having them on board and having them to be a partner, but also excited about the process in which we went in bringing them on board and moving forward. So I just wanted to thank you for that, and I'm comfortable with moving it to consensus if you are.
Well said, Kevin. Thank you. Any additional questions from board members? Any opposition to consent? Consent, please. That will take us to agenda item 5C. The board will consider adopting an order authorizing the issuance of Cypress-Fairbanks Independent School District unlimited tax school building and refunding bonds, Series 2015A, providing for the award of the sale thereof in accordance with specified parameters and enacting other provisions related thereto. Well written, Marnie.
That was actually written by Jonathan Trells. Oh, thank you.
You go ahead.
My turn? Okay.
Just
thanks.
don't start using thereto and stuff.
Yeah, okay. If I could, I would like to speak to both 5C and D at the same time.
That'd be great.
Thank you. We are recommending that you approve bond orders on a parameter sale for 2015 A Series bonds and 2015 B Series bonds that give the administration the authority to sell these bonds on a negotiated basis within certain parameters as described in the bond orders. Series 2015A are fixed rate bonds, and the 2015B are variable rate bonds. These bonds are comprised of $310 million of new money being sold from the 2007 and 2014 voted bond authorizations, plus a refunding of previously issued Series 2006 bonds of about $62 million in order to produce a debt service, present value, and cash flow savings. The $310 million new money portion includes $72 million from the 2007 bond authorization for the construction costs of Elementary 55 and 56, Pridgeon Stadium renovations, and Dean Middle School renovations, and also comprised of $238 million from the 2014 bond authorization for the second phase of projects of that authorization. And those projects include a new transportation center, Matsky Elementary School replacement, a new ag center, architectural fees for middle school number 19, and other phase 3 projects. It also includes a satellite cold food storage warehouse, school site purchases, renovations to Adam, Bain, Watkins, and Joel. Includes instructional technology as well as security for all of the campuses. That include emergency call boxes at all schools, security vestibules, and bullet-resistant glass. And then also rounding out that those expected proceeds will pay for additional school buses. So we have, again, we have targeted maturities of the 2006 series bonds totaling approximately $62 million with call dates of February the 15th of 2016 for the refunding portion. And so with that, I would like to turn it over again to Mr. Palmer to present information about the sale. In addition, our coal bond counsel, Jonathan Frells from Bracewell and Giuliani, and Randy Bates with Bates and Coleman are here as well to answer any legal questions that you may have.
Well, it's good to see you again. When we went through the RFP process, one of the questions was if you had any opinions or recommendations for the district. And some of the analysis that we did was we really thought that because you are at the very beginning of almost an over $1 billion capital program, we thought you should have some additional variable rate bonds. That is going to be handled by this 2015 B series. That only brings your percentage of variable rate bonds up to 6%. And Moody's and Standard & Poor's, your rating agencies, are very comfortable with any percentage of variable rate bonds below 20%. So you're well below that threshold. The benefit, of course, of variable rate bonds is you're going to get the lowest interest rate possible. And today's market, we would expect that rate to be around 1.35%. And so that's kind of why we do it. We want to try to diversify your debt service side and make sure that you've got a lot of fixed rate, but a little bit of variable rate as well. Interest rates are switching to the fixed rated side. Interest rates are very good for your Series 2015A. As you know, and you've been reading the reports over the last year, everybody's been threatening of interest rates going up. That has really not occurred. They've bounced around a little bit, 10 basis points here or there, but currently, because of y'all's incredible AAA ratings provided to you by the Permanent School Fund, as well as your own AA ratings, I would expect that you're going to be able to issue these bonds probably in the 3.8% range, so well below 4%. On the refunding, since we are going through this effort of selling $310 million worth of bonds, we always look for the opportunity to refinance some of your outstanding bonds, and the best target is this 2006 bonds, and we're expecting almost $8 million worth of present value savings on that issue. We're going to structure that savings not to really occur right now and take that $8 million over the next couple of years, but we're going to place that savings in the years where most of your remaining authorization will be issued, and the principal payments of those payments will be coming online. And all of these were really kind of recommendations from our RFP process, and I really appreciate Mr. Snow going along with my recommendation, or at least listening to our recommendations. So I think it's an excellent financing plan, and we will, with your existing team of your bond counsel, underwriters counsel, disclosure counsel, we will effect this transaction and make sure we bring these bonds to the district at the lowest possible cost and achieve the savings of the refunding. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Palmer. Any questions from board members? Since we have Jonathan and Randy here, if you have some, now's the time. Bob?
Just one thing, and I wanted to commend the district and certainly you, Stuart, because we're talking about some bond money from 2007, and I know that there is a feeling with some people in the community that the minute we float a bond, we use all that money up, and that's not what we do. Very conservative, and we're very structured on how we use that money, and it's always for the betterment, and we don't overdo. So thank you very much, Stuart, and your group. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any additional questions from board members? Can we move this to consent?
I would prefer not.
Do you have questions for this?
Yeah, I want to clear something up prior to Monday, based on what was discussed.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
That will not be on consent, huh? C and D.
CND.
Well, I'm guessing C and D. Yeah, we'll just do that. Agenda, let's see here. Agenda item 5E, the board will consider approving on first reading additions, revisions, or deletions to district policy CDA local. Any questions from board members? Like to move that to consent. 5F, the board will consider approving the granting of a dedicated 0.014 acre unobstructed visibility easement to the public located at the corner of Barker Cypress and Cypress North Houston for the Sadie Harris Woodard Elementary School site, and authorize the superintendent or designee to negotiate the final terms and execute all related documents. There's not a need for closed session on this, is there?
Not anything unusual.
Right. Questions from board members? Like to move that to consent? Be 5G, the board will consider approving the granting of a 0.0045 acre, 196 square feet. Just want to add that for those of you that really aren't good at math, like myself. And a 0.0046 acre, that would be 200 square feet, tract for a water line easement to the West Harris County Regional Water Authority located near the intersection of Round Robin Drive and Plantation Myrtles Drive at Emory Elementary School, and authorize the superintendent or designee to negotiate the final terms and execute all related documents. Questions from board members? Like to move that to consent as well. That will take us to the superintendent's briefing portion of the agenda, and Dr. Henry will be doing that on Monday night. If we have no further business, this meeting is now adjourned. Thank you for being here and your presence tonight. And once again, Dr. Pam Wells, welcome back. Thank you for being here.